learning, performing, growing, excelling. Welcome to the Sanford News Network.
Yeah. That semester. I know. My students. I'm excited. It's directly talking. I know. Well, also, you just have to listen to me then for 10 minutes.
Yeah, literally, welcome back.
Let's have him graduate.
I said 1 year. You can say next year.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to students and parents and faculty to the 2023 Cum Laude Society induction ceremony. While there is much to celebrate in the upper school at Sanford, tonight we will lift up and recognize the truly exceptional academic accomplishments of 8 junior and 7 senior inductees into Sanford's chapter of the Cum Laude Society. These students are recognized not only for their achievement, but also for exhibiting a love for learning, an exceptional work ethic, and a dedication to their growth. These students have demonstrated both aptitude and perseverance, brilliance and hard work, curiosity and confidence, and it brings our faculty such pride and joy to have this time to honor all that these students have brought to our classrooms. We will start the evening by hearing more about the Cum Laude Society from our Cum Laude inductees from last year. It is my pleasure to welcome the members of the Cum Laude Society who were inducted during our ceremony last spring. The students are Emerson Cuff, Noah Kersner, Peyton Moore, Kaylee Rathbone, and Daphne Tanner. These students will lead the formal process of inducting our newest cum laude members. I will now turn it over to Emerson Cuff.
The Cum Laude Society has a long and rich history dating back to 1906. Dr. Abram Harris, director of the Tome School in Maryland, was determined that the scholastic achievement of students in secondary schools should be accorded as much recognition as given to other accomplishments. He envisioned a society modeled on Phi Beta Kappa, which would encourage and recognize true scholarship. Since the Society's formation, there has been no deviation from the original objective of the founder, namely the recognition of superior scholarship. Today, the Society has grown to include approximately 380 chapters located in the United States, the Philippines, Puerto Rico, Canada, England, France, and Spain. Some 40,000 new student members are inducted annually.
As provided in the Society Constitutions, chapters shall be free to elect members who have demonstrated academic excellence in accordance with the philosophy and policies governing their individual schools. Chapters will elect to membership only students who have demonstrated good character, honor, and integrity in all aspects of their school life. In addition, a high priority is placed on ethical behavior, generosity of spirit, and intellectual curiosity, hallmarks of a Sanford student. Cum laude elections take place between April and June and include the top 20% of the senior class based on cumulative GPA. The top scholars of the junior class may also be inducted, with the remaining members that comprise the top 20% of the class being inducted in the spring of their senior year.
The motto of the Cum Laude Society is Arete, Dice, Time, translated as excellence, justice, honor. The motto specifies quality which, ideally, each member of the society should have as personal goals and should endeavor to encourage in society as well. The word arete includes the concept of excellence in the moral sense, and is not limited to the ideal of superiority in scholarship, nor does it involve the endeavor of competing primarily for academic grades. The word dice includes the concept of what is suitable and appropriate, as well as just. The interpretation of the word time includes the concept of dignity and true worth, as well as honor. In testimony of your admission to the Cum Laude Society by the authority of the Society duly granted, I now have the distinct honor of presenting the names of our new Cum Laude inductees. When I call your name, please come up and receive your certificate and pin from Cum Laude member Peyton Moore. From the class of 2023, Stella Adamopoulos. Amanda Belej. Skylar Kozine. Nikolai Lawrenson. Cooper Robertson. Ava Saudi. Charles Sternberg. From the class of 2024, Megan Athey. Amonrai Kalon. Morgan Kopernicki. Varun Papu. Catherine Shapiro. Chloe Steiner. Andrew Taylor. Amelia Sue. Each of these students is beloved by our Sanford faculty, and we have asked one of those faculty members to share brief remarks on behalf of our inductees. We will start with the class of 2024, so I'd like to invite John Fritz to speak on behalf of Megan Athey.
I first met Megan during the Warrior Welcome almost 3 years ago as part of my new advisory group, where, despite her initial wariness, she courageously pantomimed playing trumpet as her identifying gesture during our name game. I soon after learned that another of her interests was video editing, and then it was all over. I knew I had my next stream team producer and leader of the Student Media Club, and she has outperformed every hope and expectation I had for that position. Long before I ever got to know her as a student in my classroom, I knew what to expect. For the previous 2 years, I'd read her teachers' comments on her grade reports, where phrases like teacher's dream, dedicated scholar, and outstanding work ethic kept popping up. This year, as her AP Lang teacher, I've gotten to see those attributes and more firsthand. Megan is the quintessential scholar, dedicating herself to each subject as if her future depended on it and it alone. And it's not only in the classroom that Megan gives her all. Many casual Megan watchers may see her as primarily the face of the stream team, but her fellow theater lovers would beg to differ, having seen her dedication to the production of our plays and musicals. But concert band members may object and claim her as their trumpeter, even though she did fake her way through her first U.S. concert. And then those who know her through the Hobie Leadership Program may be surprised to learn she has time for anything other than that. And that's not even to mention her finely honed video gaming and nascent archery skills. In our relatively short 2.5 years together, I've watched Megan grow as a scholar, a problem solver, a leader, and a fine young woman of whom I couldn't be more proud. Congratulations, Megan. I'd now like to invite Alyssa Hull to speak on behalf of Rai Kalan.
I know Rai as a dedicated scholar who is eager to use his considerable scientific skills to better the lives of others. From founding his club, Launch X at Sanford, to fuel campus entrepreneurship, to excelling in AP biology as a sophomore in a class full of seniors, to achieving statewide recognition in Science Olympiad for 2 years in a row, it's clear that everything that Rai does is in pursuit of excellence, and that is not only in science. It's been a pleasure for me to watch Rai grow, from the 9th grader who was so enthused about learning that he came in on an asynchronous Wednesday during COVID to sort aquatic insects with me, to the confident and capable researcher that he is today, crafting code to contribute to the knowledge of human physiology. He expands my expectations of what a Stanford student can achieve, and I am confident that his induction today is only the beginning of recognition for Rai's efforts. Congratulations, Rai. I'd now like to invite Katie Weaver to speak on behalf of Morgan Kropinecki.
Dedicated, passionate, disciplined, committed, persistent, competitive, tough, hardworking, coachable. These are a select few of Morgan's amazing characteristics that I have had the opportunity to witness during her time at Sanford. I had the opportunity to not only teach Morgan in the classroom, but also coach her in both field hockey and soccer. Morgan is one of the hardest working players on the field and embodies the true meaning of a student athlete. In the classroom, Morgan is dedicated and passionate about learning. She takes on a leadership role in the classroom, is inquisitive, and strives to deepen her understanding of whatever topic she's learning. She has a sly sense of humor that brings a fun atmosphere to the classroom. She enjoys working with her peers and is always willing to lend a hand if needed. On the field, Morgan's competitive side comes out, and she is a fierce competitor. Morgan shows up day in and day out, ready to take on all challenges and strives to be the best athlete on the field. She's extremely coachable and is willing to accept and implement any feedback she's given. Working with Morgan in these capacities has made me a better coach and teacher. Congratulations, Morgan, on your induction into the Cum Laude Honor Society. It's well deserved. I'd now like to invite Suzanne Meyer to speak on behalf of Varun Papu.
Varun has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to excellence throughout his academic career. Varun has shown growth while excelling in challenging courses. He demonstrates his intellectual curiosity by asking detailed and nuanced questions. Those questions, as well as the insightful explanations he provides, are known to spark rich discussions in class. He has shown a remarkable ability to think critically, communicate effectively, and collaborate with his peers. His academic achievements are impressive and speak for themselves, but what truly sets the student apart is his character. Both inside and outside the classroom, he has demonstrated the qualities of a kind, responsible, and thoughtful leader. He has shared his passion for chess and helped create an opportunity for all students to meet and learn from professionals in many fields. I am confident that Varun will continue to make valuable contributions to our society, both inside and outside the classroom. It is my honor to recognize his outstanding achievements and potential for future success. Congratulations, Varun, on your induction to the Cum Laude Honor Society. I'd like to invite Elise Burke-Parcha to speak on behalf of Catherine Shapiro, but unfortunately she cannot be here tonight, so Abby Smith will read remarks on her behalf.
All right, here are Elise Burke-Parcha's remarks. It's an honor to be able to speak on behalf of the witty and wonderful Kat Shapiro tonight. Before I had Kat as a student, I got to know her as an eager and enthusiastic Lit Mag staffer with, even as a freshman, a sharp eye, a strong and unique voice, and an unmatched passion for all things literary. One thing I learned about Kat very early on, which has been reinforced every day since, is that when she has a vision, she will execute it with focus, dedication, and grit, but also with a lightness and joy. It's the excitement and pleasure that Kat brings to her hard work that her faculty and friends find so special and singular. 3 years later, I have remained so inspired by the diverse talents she illustrates as a club leader, passionate performer, celebrated artist, published and award-winning writer, insightful reader, engaged learner, deep thinker, and powerful advocate and friend. Because of her commitment to excellence, intellect, and authenticity, it comes as no surprise that Kat is being honored here tonight, as she approaches everything she takes on with incredible tenacity, commitment, passion, and an important and well worth honoring sense of humor. I speak for the cackle of English teachers and the rest of the Sanford faculty in offering a heartfelt congratulations to Kat Shapiro for this important induction tonight. We can't wait to witness the many ways you'll continue to make us all so very proud. I'd now like to invite Laurence Burkett to speak on behalf of Chloe Steiner.
Tonight I have the honor to speak about Chloe Steiner. This is my third year teaching Chloe, and I'm thrilled that I will get to teach her again in AP French course next year. Chloe is a force to be reckoned with, a soft-spoken tornado who clears a path for the goals she sets for herself. Chloe's physics teacher described her as a leader during group lab work and a high achiever on assessment who always searches for the right answer and does not stop until she is satisfied with the explanation she is given. When asked about Chloe, her history teacher said, quote, "She speaks with good-hearted earnestness. Whatever the topic, she shows curiosity and a willingness to listen. While she takes many things seriously, she is also quick to laugh and jump in on silly banter," unquote. Chloe's sense of humor, work ethic, and leadership skills shine through everything she does. Chloe's expectations of herself are very high, and yet she shows such compassion and kindness to everyone around her. Just recently, while acting out a 14th century French play, she offered to switch parts with a classmate who was not comfortable with their script, and Chloe ended up having to emphatically yell "Bah!" many times over and stay in character as the shepherd who fooled everyone. Chloe's mere presence in a group brings joie de vivre, a joy for life, and has a positive impact on everyone. Chloe's relentless intellectual curiosity combined with a fierce work ethic and an innate ability to advocate for herself will all contribute to her success in future endeavors. Congratulations, Chloe, on your induction into the Cum Laude Honor Society. You are the kind of student who makes me want to be a better teacher. I'd now like to invite Tom Whipple to speak on behalf of Andrew Taylor. Unfortunately, Mr. Whipple could not be with us tonight, and Abby Smith will read the remarks he has written.
Thank you. Humble, unassuming, and respectful are the words that came to my mind about Andrew Taylor in the first few days that he was in my honors pre-calculus class as a freshman. Though he had mastered the Honors Algebra 2 curriculum on his own that previous summer, he may have been a little intimidated at the beginning of the year by the older students in the class. If so, Andrew quickly overcame those fears and demonstrated the high maturity level that has characterized his time at Sanford. Having elected him twice to be their class's president, his classmates agree with me that Andrew is trustworthy, dedicated, and hardworking. Now that I have had the pleasure of being his teachers for Honor Pre-Calculus and AP Calculus BC, in addition to being his coach for Math League, I would add words such as observant, tenacious, and intelligent to describe him. Andrew enjoys exploring new material and solving challenging problems. He understands that truly mastering a concept ultimately requires working through it on his own. For all of these reasons, Andrew is well deserving of the Cum Laude recognition. Congratulations, Andrew. I'd now like to invite Clint Williams to speak on behalf of Amelia Shue.
It is my pleasure to share some thoughts on the dynamic Amelia Shue. Amelia's teachers have described Amelia as a student with a refreshing candor in her communication that's almost unheard of in a high school English class, and an advanced one at that. She's a student who can change the energy in the room with her seemingly limitless positivity. Another teacher said, while Amelia's linguistic expression spans multiple languages and dialects, it is not simply a nascent ability that marks her proficiency, but rather her desire to be creative. She is uninhibited, her mistakes make her laugh, and she is always at play. Her voice in all its shades is uniquely hers. When I think of my many years teaching Amelia, I echo all that her teachers have shared. Fearless, direct, kind, and willing to take risks. Amelia is a truly remarkable young person who perfectly straddles the line between the arts and academics. Congratulations, Amelia. Now moving on to the class of 2023, I'd like to introduce William Pedersen, who will read remarks for Stella Adamopoulos.
The first time I met Stella Adamopoulos, she accosted me outside the physics lab on my second day as a full-time teacher. She demanded to know whether I was the archery guy, as she had read in my bio on the wall in math science. Turns out that I was definitely the person she was looking for, and she quickly convinced me of the need for an archery club at Sanford.
While she has unfortunately not taken one of my physics classes, I know that she is academically driven and intensely curious. The word that comes to mind for most of her teachers when asked was tenacious. She works hard at problems, investing time to ensure that she both understands the material and does well on the assessments. When I think about the last 2 years of working closely with Stella and seeing her grow, I think of a bold, direct, and fearless student whose willpower and confidence rise to every challenge. I am proud to see her effort recognized in this induction. I'd now like to invite Mr. Anderson to read remarks for Amanda Belage, that were written for Hunter Zavowski. Unfortunately, Ms. Zavowski could not be here this evening either, so Mr. Anderson will read on her behalf.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Amanda and I began our Sanford journey at the same time, her in her 10th grade year and me in my first year as a teacher. We quickly bonded over these shared experiences, being new people during a strange year. 2020 was one of masks, hand sanitizer, and COVID tests. Always polite and friendly, Amanda quickly blossomed into a confident and poised member of our history classroom, whose thoughtful contributions were often the cornerstone of our class discussions. I am told by her current teachers that just as in her first year, she approaches assignments with great care and enthusiasm. It has been incredible watching Amanda carve out a place for herself in the Sanford community, with standout performances in Dracula and Mamma Mia, and a directorial debut with the one-act Myth. Sanford Williams remarked, "Amanda arrived at Sanford as a veteran on the stage. Through hard work, perseverance, and her positive attitude, she has continued to mature into a true triple threat as a singer, actress, and dancer. The best is yet to come for this talented thespian, including performing in a professional production of the musical Godspell this summer with the New Light Theater Company." Her fashion design teacher, Rachel Glickman, remarked on Amanda's creativity. She created fashion designs based off the TV show Wednesday, repurposed a squishmallow? Stuffed animal into a halter top, and most recently created a dress out of duct tape. Her ability to collaborate with peers, foster a sense of community, and lead with positivity is something faculty have taken notice of, both inside and outside the classroom. Congratulations on this exceptional honor, Amanda, and we look so forward to your next chapter. I'd like to invite Stacy Hendricks to speak on behalf of Skylar Cozine.
I came to know Skylar when she was in middle school for her work illustrating the cover of the novel Maria Maria, A Story of a Storm by Jennifer Degenhardt, published in 2018. Her cover art depicts the silhouette of a child and her grandmother holding hands against the clearing sky after Hurricane Maria. It was my second year teaching at Sanford Upper School when I learned of this talented artist that had entered and won this illustration contest with the help of her Spanish instructor, Jennifer McKay, who was an integral part of Skylar's growth. When she joined our upper school, I was pleased to not only teach her, in Spanish too, but to also serve as her advisor. We've been together from the 9th grade Warrior Welcome to her recent final student-led conference. I've also had the privilege of teaching Skylar again this year in Spanish 5. She is as strong at STEM as she is at art, as she is at Spanish, as she is at being a good friend to others. She's valued, involved, and a caring member of our community. She consistently demonstrates these character traits and attention to detail across the board in all areas of her life. She dives so deeply into every personalized project, fully embracing opportunities to explore her own creative way of synthesizing academic and intellectual material. She possesses an optimistic, colorful, energetic, and mindful approach to life on a path towards medical school. It is an absolute pleasure to speak on behalf of Skylar Kozine this evening. I'd now like to invite Sarah Satinsky back up to read remarks written for Nikolai Lawrenson. These were written by Jeff Molish, who unfortunately could not be here this evening.
Over the 7 years that I taught Nikolai from 4th to 10th grade, I had the pleasure of seeing him grow as a musician and constantly push himself to improve. Whether it was playing up in jazz band as a middle schooler or excelling in music technology, Nikolai's combination of natural talent and drive made him among the most successful and reliable students I've ever taught during his time in the performing arts at Sanford. Every band, orchestra, or choir relies on certain members as cornerstones of their groups, and that's what Nikolai was to our bands at Sanford. It was a luxury to know that he could be given any piece of music and be confident as a director that it would be learned quickly in Nikolai's hands. He always rose to any challenge presented to him and was always an easygoing and focused member of our ensembles. Over the 7 years that I taught Nikolai from 4th to 10th grade, I had the pleasure of seeing him grow as a musician and constantly push himself to improve. In music technology, he was a natural in the creative process and understanding the form and structure of pop music. Nikolai was a diligent worker, a collaborative peer, and he always allowed his musical talents to shine in a brand new way. He's a star academically as well, and I'm so proud to congratulate Nikolai. Congrats. I'd now like to invite Casey Zimmer to speak on behalf of Cooper Robertson.
Cooper Robertson is definitively their own person. Though they only arrived on campus at Sanford just last January, 15 months ago, I managed to teach him in that period, which is remarkable because I really don't teach anymore. And Cooper found their people, carved out their niche, and earned the respect of their teachers in very short order. Cooper thrives on authentic relationships with adults, and considering how many faculty members feel like they know Cooper quite well, it's clear that Cooper is exceptional in creating bonds. Or maybe it's just that teachers just feel like they can see themselves in Cooper. Perhaps it's Cooper's wizened way of talking like they're exhausted from the trials of the day. Perhaps it's how Cooper makes a sly joke, often at your expense, and then seeks your eyes in the hopes that you'll see that you're their comedic equal, but also they're truly grateful at the sense of humor and your tacit permission for such a connection. Cooper has an unusual combination of auras. The undefinable air of an intellectual and the undeniable mien of kindness of someone always thrilled to be asked to help someone else. They balance a drive to share their knowledge with the vulnerability to crave the things unknown. This is Cooper, thriving on growth, connection, caring, and empathy. Cooper, I am so personally grateful you and your family chose Sanford, and that I've had the opportunity to get to know you. Congratulations. I'd now like to invite Jamie Hoy to speak on behalf of Ava Saudi.
That's not the mic. An incredible joy to teach. Ava is not only tremendously driven, hardworking, and conscientious, but she is also one of the most compassionate, kind, and empathetic students I've ever had the pleasure of working with. Ava cares deeply about those around her, and she can always be relied on to be an active listener to her peers. In the classroom, Ava is a sincerely curious and extremely capable student whose collaborative spirit elevates the class dynamic. She often provides words of encouragement to her peers while also meaningfully contributing to the collective wisdom of the class. Her thoughtful insights add richness to the class discussion, which provide avenues for deeper thought and understanding. A valued member of our community, Ava is not only an accomplished scholar and dependable friend, but she is also a leader of Sanford's Environmental Action League and champion of environmental sustainability. Whether in or out of the classroom, Ava serves as an exemplar of a student, both in character as well as in discipline. Congratulations, Ava, on your induction to the Cum Laude Honor Society. It is certainly well deserved. I'd now like to invite Liz Brown to speak on behalf of Charlie Sternberg. Unfortunately, Dr. Brown couldn't make it tonight, so Mark Anderson will read on her behalf.
It's my pleasure to speak about Charlie Sternberg. Having taught Charlie in AP Chemistry, I have enjoyed seeing Charlie's growth as a scholar and as a scientist over the course of this year. He has a natural inquisitiveness and curiosity that drives him to ask more questions that start with why than how. There can be no greater mark of a scientist than this, and I encourage him to never stop questioning what is presented to him and to continue to dig for deeper meaning. Lest you think this curiosity is confined just to the science classroom, look no further than comments from his math teacher who highlights Charlie's ability to find value in sharing ideas, even when they may be wrong. I can attest to that one too. That's an editorial comment. Because he recognizes that the process of making mistakes and unearthing misconceptions will lead to deeper learning. I encourage Charlie to never stop questioning what is presented to him and to continue to dig deeper for meaning and to find joy in the process of exploration, failure, and ultimately success. Congratulations, Charlie. I'd now like to invite Peyton Moore back to the podium to continue our induction ceremony.
The distinguished academic record you have established at Sanford has earned for you membership in the Cum Laude Society. This society is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work. As you pursue your education, it is our hope that you will accept the honor of membership in this society as a responsibility to make some contribution to the ongoing search for greater understanding of the world in which we live. Excellence, justice, and honor will characterize the life each of us leads if we purposely choose to embrace them. They can and should inspire the academic and intellectual culture we embrace here at Sanford, not just in the classroom, but across our campus and in the community.
We'd also like to take a moment to pause, to reflect, and to thank the faculty who have helped stretch our curiosity and widen our perspective on the world. At Sanford, we have been gifted the opportunity to be taught by exceptional educators who help us in our pursuit of truth, beauty, and justice through the arts and sciences. From AP US History to ceramics, from calculus to choir, from large concepts to small concepts, you have enlightened our minds and made our journey exciting and entertaining in all fields of study. We also thank our family and friends for their support of our academic pursuits and the gift of our Sanford education. We hope that family members here today know the influence they had upon our lives. Our success is not solely our own, and we thank those who have helped us bring us here. On behalf of both Sanford School and the Cum Laude Society, congratulations inductees on achieving this academic milestone. Our evening will continue with a keynote speaker, and I'd like to welcome Casey Zimmer to provide an introduction.
Chris Santizo Malafronte joined the Sanford community in the fall of 2010, same time I did. At that time, I thought Chris was the norm for Sanford. And while their values and approach to other people may have been shared by many, Chris became, to me, one of the most unusual, gregariously confident, talented, friendly, and passionate young people Sanford School would have the pleasure of knowing. Within a month of their arrival on campus, Chris was elected to a student leadership position within their class and earned a leading role in the fall play. In the classroom, Chris was a rock star, said their AP English literature teacher in their senior year. Wise beyond their years, Chris was a self-advocating seeker of improvement, willing to challenge the popular beliefs in class. The confident adult among their academic peers, Chris was unafraid of being wrong, but uniquely without pretension or arrogance and with the ability to laugh at their own misconceptions while maintaining an open and facile mind. I like making things grow and knowing I'm the cause of that, said Chris to me once. At the time, they were referring to their then passion for gardening. But Chris grew many things as well. A dedicated and soulful poet, in their junior year, Chris founded a poetry club at Sanford, which would meet at lunchtime and share poetry which members had written. Chris took the club a step further by organizing the first ever poetry slam at Sanford, inviting members of other schools as well. Chris was always one of the first to arrive at Sanford and the last to leave. With vocal ensemble rehearsal before school started, they'd arrive at Sanford at 7, followed by 4 AP classes, and then cross-country practice, and then fall play practice. They'd get home around 8:30 on a good day. And many of you can empathize with that type of commitment to school activities. But with Chris, enough was never enough. They took on the load because they thrived in the maelstroms of their passions. And meanwhile, Chris served as an admission ambassador and was trotted out as a panelist for admission visitors days, participated in the chess club, the debate club, student media productions program, and numerous other lesser things like their side job at the local movie theater in Newark. It never ended. Perhaps Chris's boundless energy is a result of their exemplary balancing of their love of and interest in people and their natural drive to not leave a moment wasted for either them or others. Sincere, interested, friendly, thoughtful, analytical, reflective, talented, gregarious, and demonstratively passionate, Chris took Sanford by storm. And we're so glad that storm of positivity is back home. Chris matriculated at Swarthmore College, where they were named a McCabe Scholar and earned a BA in Sociology and Anthropology and a minor in Psychology. From there, Chris earned their MA in Sociology from the University of California at Santa Barbara. Chris has numerous publications and presentations on their resume, many of which focus on Chris's passion concerning the experience of international adoptees. We are so grateful to be able to welcome our Cum Laude Society induction speaker, Chris Santizo Malafronte, class of 2014.
Hello. I'm going to put this just to the side. Hi, all. Thank you so much for having me tonight. What a joy to be standing here celebrating the accomplishment of our cum laude inductees. Congratulations to all of you. I have to say, y'all are really getting quite the treat. When I was inducted, this was a much smaller ceremony. There were no sharing by teachers, and there was no speaker. I hope that you feel, as I do, that tonight we really get to celebrate each and every one of you, and hopefully impart some pride, confidence, and wisdom to help you further your future endeavors. Tonight, I wish to speak directly to you, inductees. I want to talk to you tonight about questions, and by extension, questioning. Questions are all around us. What's up? What's your name? Where are you from? They are how we get to know someone, get to know the world around us, get to know ourselves. Luckily for you all, you've been asking questions your whole lives. For example, high school is full of questions. Mom, Dad, can I borrow the car? Will you go to prom with me? Will this be on the test? I'm sure that some of those seem big right now. And let's get one thing clear, they are. I remember being 17 and scheming to ask my question in just the right way to get permission to hang with friends or to ask somebody out. And if no one has clued you in yet, the questions get harder from here on out. Of the existential variety, who am I? What do I want to do with my life? The life-altering, do you love me? Do I love myself? To the immediate, how am I going to pay this bill in time? Should I go out with friends or work tonight? Much of my upbringing, like I imagine most young people, I was told to follow rules, to do something because someone with more authority told me to not ask nor expect any explanation as to why. But you can ask my mom. When I was growing up, I always needed an explanation. I needed to know why I was doing something, not just that I had to do it. Why can't I ride in the front seat of the car? Why do I have to play Little League baseball? Why do I have to go to a private school? When I was 14 years old, I was getting ready to go to high school. My parents somehow got it in their heads that they were going to send me and my sister to Sanford, this private school 30 minutes away from our home in some part of Delaware that I had never heard of, with a bunch of kids who were already friends because some had been going to school together since kindergarten. I was miserable. My friends were all going to other schools, and all I wanted was to go to school with them. I think we can all agree that being 14 is hard enough. Who wants to start a new school where you know no one? But my parents had set their minds, so we went. And if I'm being honest, I resented that my parents made me go. I resented how small and far away Sanford was. I resented how it highlighted that my family didn't have a lot of money. And the worst part about it was that I didn't even have all this language to explain why I felt so bad at the time. And I had some baggage that not all teenagers have to unpack. My adoption, my being from another part of the world, my race, my queerness, my lower income status. But it was from that place of not knowing that I began to really question my little world and my little place in it. I share this to highlight how my positionalities have always been on the margin, and to show how this allowed me to start to see things in ways that those around me, my peers, my parents, my teachers, haven't always been able to. When I reflect on my time in high school, I think of how challenging coming into this way of seeing, this sight, was. It was overwhelming for a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old, and even more so because I didn't have anyone to explain what was happening. All I knew was that I was different and that I didn't quite fit in. This meant that I wasn't satisfied with the explanations that I was told because they often didn't completely apply to me. So I kept asking questions. Why am I so different? How can I leave Delaware? When will my life begin? So I did leave, in search of answers. First to Swarthmore College in 2014, then to Guatemala in 2018, and then in the fall of 2019, I started a PhD in sociology. In a lot of ways, when I look back on my childhood and adolescence, this makes a lot of sense. I have always been a curious person. Some folks want to know what's out there. They become astronauts and astrophysicists. Other folks are interested in the ways that machines operate. They become engineers and mechanics. And then there are folks like me who are observant and like people watching. We become social scientists. One of the things I learned while studying qualitative research methods is that I didn't know how to ask a good question. Or rather, that there is a spectrum of question asking that I was hitherto unaware of. That's to say that when you get to the graduate level of study in the social sciences, you realize all the ways that you could ask a question. And one of your jobs is to identify and ask the perfect iteration of that question. Word it the wrong way, and you might bias the person you're questioning towards one sort of answer. Word it another way, and your respondent might not even understand what you're trying to get at. Add a word or two, and now you've got a leading question. Take a word or two away, and now you're only asking a yes or no question. Grad school taught me that the words you use in your question, the order, the placement, the emphasis, the connotation, the meaning, all drastically affect the answers that you'll get. My point is twofold. Firstly, that there are an infinite number of ways to ask the same question, and it does matter how we ask them. And secondly, that because our questions are always already biased, we can only ask the questions that are available to our perspectives. Therefore, we need to be reflexive, thinking through who we are, why we ask what we ask. When you're in academia, you are really being asked to pose new questions, building off of findings from older inquiries, to attempt to think of something that has never been thought before, to give us a new perspective on our world. This came naturally to me, this questioning of the way things seem to be. For as long as I can remember, I've been doing it, to make sense of why I am the way that I am. I started with just noticing things. I don't look like my friend group. I wasn't born in the US. These noticings led me to questions. Why am I being pulled over by police more than my peers? Why do people give my family looks when they see us together in the grocery store? Which led to bigger questions. What does it mean to be a person of color in the United States? Why does international adoption exist in the first place? To the point where I started to really question systems, power, privilege, society, and the norms and the status quo that dictate our lives. Academically, this is what it means to be a sociologist. And this is also how I strive to live as a person, and how I encourage each and every one of you to be. To take nothing for granted and to question the status quo. To ask what lies below the surface if we dig a little deeper. What relationships, what discourses, what beliefs. For example, it is not a coincidence that I was adopted from a country, Guatemala, that was embroiled in a 36-year-long civil war that was started in part by CIA intervention. It was not a coincidence that my ancestors are indigenous and have been enslaved, disenfranchised, and treated as second-class citizens for the past 500 years. And it is not a coincidence that I ended up studying sociology in order to answer and study all of those things. The point being, we need more questioners, folks who won't avert their eyes when they find something that they don't want to see, who are willing to reckon with themselves and their histories, and who want real change. Folks who are critical thinkers, who question the things around them and are curious how they got to be that way. When I was asked to speak tonight, I initially wasn't sure what to say. I thought about how hard high school was for me, how much I had wanted to go to college, how much I couldn't wait to leave Delaware and see the world. I even asked if I was allowed to say all that tonight. I share all this because I'm sure it resonates with some of you on stage with me. And yet, here I am talking today, back at Sanford, and really quite happy to be here, to share my experience, and to hopefully make you feel a little less lonely. I realized that being asked to share was actually the prompt that I needed to question my own personal history, to sit with my experience from high school and reflect on a place that, without a doubt, has informed my trajectory and the person I've become, ultimately for the better. If you ask my parents, they'll say that I loved high school, that I was so happy. As with most things in life, it's a both and. I was deeply comfortable here, and at the same time, beginning to become deeply unsettled with the world around me. But again, it's a both and. Sanford gave me space to question who I was becoming and who I wanted to be. I thrived here because I was encouraged to take up space, to be brave, to start things, and to believe in myself. I was invested in by countless educators who saw my potential and truly wanted me to thrive. That is a beautiful thing. More than anything, just like you, I had teachers who saw how I was struggling to become me and who held space as I was rapidly growing and changing. That foundation served me as I left Delaware and went out to the world. To close, I want to encourage you to take yourself seriously. Your questions matter. You are the top of your classes. My hope is that this little address will put a finger on the scale towards critically questioning yourself, and the world around you. I hope you take away just how exciting it is that you are at a time in your life when you can, should, and will be questioning everything. So, thank you so much for the time to share with you tonight. And all that's left to say is, where will you start?
Looking at Chris's beautiful head of hair, he was also the student senior year who played, was it senior or junior, played Daddy Warbucks and Annie and completely shaved that. Full circle there. I'd like to thank Chris, all of our teachers who are with us tonight, our audience members who've joined us, and especially this group of seniors and juniors. Can we give them a big round of applause, please? Cum Laude is our first ceremony in really what is a ceremony season. And for those of you who this is your first time being here, you can tell it's a big deal. It's a big deal to us to honor the hard work of the students you see on stage. We celebrate their success because it really is indicative of our school's mission and our values of who we are here at Sanford. The students that are on stage tonight, they do such good work. And part of that is their academics, but it's even beyond that. When we think about their work in athletics, the arts, leadership in the community, and that's just to name a few of the areas that they've touched upon during their time here. We are that school where no talent lies latent, and the students who are in cum laude, they embody that motto. But it is the academics, it's the excellence that they have achieved that we highlight tonight. The Sanford juniors and seniors who are on stage this evening, they are indeed bright, they're talented. These kids are smart, they're wicked smart. They're also persistent, driven, motivated, and highly ambitious. And I say that all as compliments. Their success hasn't come easily to any one of them. They've earned this recognition. And we applaud their continued success in the classroom these past 4 years. And I'll also say that they're more than GPAs. While those GPAs are all sky high, they are musicians and performers and actors and athletes. They're team captains and club presidents and community volunteers. And they're student leaders who have shaped the class of 2023 and will continue to shape the class of 2024. We celebrate the 2023 cum laude students who shine in so many ways. Our Sanford community is so incredibly proud of what you have already accomplished, and we can't wait to see what the coming years will hold for each one of you. Well done. Thank you for joining us this evening, and please join us in the lobby for some refreshments. Have a great night.
This has been